Hello everybody, Ned here from Stellar Enterprises, and this is our first kind of long form video. We're doing a lot of kind of shorts and stuff, but I kind of wanted to do a video today just talking about some of our processes and what we do nowadays when making our comics, and hopefully these can inspire you or at least maybe show you a different method of making comics. Now, we've been doing this for 6 years. Last week was our 6th anniversary of making these comics, and there have been break periods, but this method has probably been nailed down in the past couple of years or so when making Warlock 3 and 4. These are in the wrong order. So this is kind of our method that has changed. These are very similar, but the art really kind of developed here. So when it comes to penciling, I used to use a mechanical pencil that had blue lead in it. This is my mechanical pencil here, and I used to use blue lead. And the reason I use blue lead, and this is if you can get it, 100% use it. If you're going to plan on digitally scanning your comics, because I must say, just to say it before, we draw our comics by hand. We color them digitally, but if you're just in digital comics, some of this may apply to you, but most of it won't, because you're doing it a different way. We like hand making, at least part of our process being handmade. We used to do completely handmade, where we color by hand using like crayons and coloring pencils, up until early 2019. I'd say for the first year of production, we exclusively did handmade, and then we pivoted to using digital media to make our comics, to color them, because it was faster, it looked way more professional, even if the art wasn't still as good as it could be, and it still isn't great, but it just makes it look so much better. So first of all, you can get blue lead. This is 0.5, I believe, size. That focus there. Is extremely good, very, very good, because it doesn't pick up. When you scan something in, you don't have to spend 10 minutes rubbing out and missing some lines with like Grey Lead before scanning in the inked version. It actually just completely disappears. You go like this document, black and white 2 on HP scanners, and it's gone, and it's just your inks, and that's a really, really good time. Like, you could rub out, and I've ripped pages before accidentally, or really creased some that had to be washed, not washed, redone. And so yeah, that's a great starter. If you can't get it, you can probably order it. I haven't ordered it yet, but I probably will, because I'm just coming back to making comics now a lot. So I just use regular Faber-Castell. You've seen these pencils, the old classic orange ones. I use usually HB for sketching, or H, and then the 2B for my fine lines, and then I ink, and then I do have to rub out. I use this very nice black rubber. Is really good. It is very powerful, but it cleans up the lines, even if they're 2B, very well. So straight away, you got your rubber. You kind of need it either way. The blue lead, one problem, it doesn't really rub out great, so don't do your lines too heavily, because they'll be in your way, but it doesn't show up, so it doesn't mean too. Or sometimes. So that's our first stuff. Obviously, the topper. Next, for panels, I use a ruler, obviously. I do make my own. I don't use templates. I probably should, to be fair. But I just kind of got so used to drawing them. I know the measurements that, like, it's even though half the time they turn out wrong, like a half centimeter, usually half centimeter, then size is a full centimeter down the middle, depending on the panel size, for £6, which are standard pages. This is the page I'm working on at the moment. It's for Warlock issue 5. I have a couple of our pages that are more complete, but they also kind of spoil. This is the literal first page. Like, we have the cover here, which I will show you. This is kind of its first appearance. It's a pretty nice piece. I was quite happy with it, because it was kind of, I'm not too happy with the feet, and the face is a little strange, but actually the body and the hands I'm actually quite happy with, and just the way it's going to look good when it's shrunk down, because you think, when I draw A4 and it shrinks down to A5, it does improve the quality a lot, because the details are more condensed. You don't see mistakes as much, so I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's okay. We've really nailed down the character design of Warlock at this point. I'm very happy with him as a character. He is our only character at the moment, but upcoming is some new comics which will add classic characters from pre-reboot. I will talk about our history in a different video, and I'll talk about pre-reboot there. Also, other videos will be more well made. This is just kind of a talking video without my face, because I don't really need it here to talk about the setup, so it doesn't have to be too advanced, but I'll probably make higher quality with more cuts, and I'll probably remember next time to turn the light on. And this is the third take, so I'm not going to do that, because I'm 5 minutes in. Anyway, next for inking, I've used a load of different products. I believe I used Faber-Castell pens originally. So here's my school pens. I've had this for about 5-6 years, and I've so these are the original ones we used. They're very good. Faber-Castell pens. I'm going to put the light here so you can see it. Faber-Castell pens. This is an SC, this is a brush. These are good. They have they have weird names. They don't use a standard number system. I believe it was an M and an XS that I used. That was really it. Those two kind of got me through it. Problem with them, I found they ran out quite fast. So I used some of them. I do use a couple of their colouring pens for doing the posters and stuff. But apart from that, I don't really use them. I then switched to these, and this one has no label because they rub off. These I think I bought these in Aldi or something. Premium Artist Fine Liner. Really bad. For mealies. I don't know if I'm using them wrong. They have like a solid enough tip. The problem is they're like felt tip pens. They splodge really easy. If I do a mark, it's usually going to kind of be too shaky. You can't really see that, but on the side of his hand, there's a big little dent there, and it doesn't look very consistent. And they also leaked a lot, like they just burst. So we found the best cost efficient solution was these. These are, apart from brush pens, I don't believe they do brush pens, so I use like a Sharpie or a Faber-Castell pen for that. But for regular lines, I use Uniball Fine Line. These are really good. So 0.4 for 6-page panels. Main lines are done with a 0.6. Boxes and full page or big panels are done with a 0.8. For smaller details like background stuff here, or even just like drawing his costume on the cover, I'll use a 0.4, not on the cover, normal panels usually. And for then shading like sketch etching, I use a 0.1. There is one other type of pen I use. I had two of them, I've lost one of the two. I have no idea where it's gone. Is this. It's a Staedtler. I also really like these. This is 0.05. This is the only one I have left. I had a one which was really thick, and I really liked using that for panel outlines and big dramatic scenes. But the 0.5, you can see how small that tip is. It's really good for very, very small details. Also, I found my blue ink here, blue lead. This is the Faber-Castell blue ink lead. It can pop up there, it comes out there. Again, the shop that I buy my art supplies at, to explain why, doesn't stock anymore, which is a shame. They used to, but pandemic happened. I'm guessing supply chain and messed up there. So we ended up, not getting it. Anyway, those are pencils and ink supplies that we use to get to this stage usually, to get to here. And then we'll rub it out and we'll scan it, and then I'll show into our next process. So here is the app that we use for colouring. Now, I haven't renewed the subscription month, so I can't actually do any examples, I believe. But here's just how our pages look. There's a lot of half-finished pages you can see here. These are done all during the most recent convention that we were at. We did those because we want to show people. A lot of people came up and they're really nice asking how we do it. So we had on stand showing them all different brushes. You can see we did show them all the different brushes here. Here's all of our pages. It's called Pigment. It's pretty expensive, but it's really good. The fill tool's very efficient. I do like Procreate for other stuff, but this is just and Procreate is faster, but this is far more efficient. So I can go into the page, and I can show you. You can zoom in, zoom out. I'm not using a stylus. You can use the fill tool there. There's different brushes and stuff. It's very good. I think that, lines like that, and they're always adding new brushes and other items. Those ones weren't even there when I was working on the last comic. My favourite brush is Nebula because it's the coolest. It's a premium. I haven't signed in yet, but that's pretty much what we use for colouring. Then we use a Create Booklet to put the page in the right order, and we use HP Smart for our ink and printing. We don't use any special paper. We probably should. We do use a higher quality paper for our prints and posters, but for the rest of stuff, we use normal, standard printer paper because it's cost efficient. We use Starcons for €2, and we'd be making very little, if anything, selling them at €2 because of how expensive, the cost of production is now, with ink and paper prices being really high and very difficult. We do, and even then, we don't take too much paper because we love this. This is, these are the stories we've made as kids, and we are still kids. But the money isn't super important, but obviously you don't making a loss at everything. So Pigment's good. It's expensive, so we don't usually take it out for a year because we don't usually know if we'll make our money back on it. So if you're looking for a budget option, use Procreate. There's hundreds of videos about Procreate online. Everyone knows about it. Believe it was €12 when I bought it. Maybe I'm misremembering that. It was 5 years ago. So that's pretty much all that you need to know. So switching this off and putting that iPad away. Here's some of our most recent comics. Just a bit of an ad at the end of the video. If you have any interest in buying these, check out our Instagram, stellar.enterprises. Because we don't have a website at the moment, so the best way to order them is go through Instagram DMs, show us a message there, and we'll be there as fast as possible. So this is the most recent Warlock issue 4. We are really proud of it. Lots of very cool designs. Probably our best art to date. It's a bit better to see some of the panels in here. I'm not like this is a year and a half ago. Some panels, they're a little inconsistent. Some of them are really good. Some of them aren't so good. That one's a really nice panel. I do quite like that. But then some of them don't look as perfect as I'd like them to. But then again, this comic was made over the course of probably a year and a half. I believe it starts in the date in the top says June 2021. This didn't come out till December 2022. That's a long delay. This one was on time. But yeah, that is all of our comics. And obviously these are our 2 older ones. If you want to get these are all orderable. There's still stock left of Warlock issue 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there's also prints and posters. These ones, you can tell the art is very bad looking at that. But, if you are interested in the story of Warlock, which I think the writing still pretty much holds up. I don't think it was that bad. I mean, not to glaze myself too much. Our older stuff, pre-reboot, which I can show in our video, is far worse than this. This is actually quite good writing for, 11-year-old me, I think. 3-4 years, 5 years ago almost. So yeah. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe and like if you did enjoy it. And check out our Instagram again if you have any interest in buying any of our prints or comics. I'll see you next one. See ya.